We'd like to welcome on screen right now the account manager, Farina Rahim. Hi, Farina.
Hi,
Hello.
how are you?
I am good. You know, you're the first person to ask me. Usually, I ask people, "How are you doing?" So it's nice. But yes, how's your week so far?
Well, week at AWS, it's been very hectic, but yes, fun as usual.
I see. Well, I hope you've had a good lunch. You know how they say that, the session right after lunch is one of the most daunting ones because everybody is back and they're kind of sleepy, and we're counting on you to warm the whole audience up. But I believe in them because they have been active all day, and I'm sure you'll do a fantastic job. So you
Thank
have
you.
45 minutes in total, and do you have any questions?
No, I'm pretty good. I will be sharing my slides in a minute.
Okay, so you can go ahead and share your screen right now, actually.
Okay. Right. Let me know if you can see my screen.
Yes, okay, I can see it now.
Okay. Perfect.
All right, so whenever you're ready, take it away.
All right. Thank you, everybody. Hope you guys had a good lunch. I'm Farina, the account manager at AWS Malaysia. Okay, so I want to share with you a little bit. I mean, this is a good platform, I think, to share with you about AWS Malaysia because through my conversations with customers, they're pretty not much aware that we exist in Malaysia, that AWS exists in Malaysia. I've been here for about 2 years, and when I first started 2 years back, AWS Malaysia was just a small team, but now over 2 years, we've grown into a full-blown organization. We reside at a very fancy KL Eco City, and we're always there having our doors open for customers who really want to find out what AWS is all about, right? So back to about when I mentioned that I've been here about 2 years. The closest thing I had to cloud computing was, I think, my iPhone, right? I mean, closest thing I had to technology was iPhone. And then I remembered the part where I had to come into AWS during my interview, right? We had to do a business case presentation. I was like, what is cloud computing? And my ideology was, okay, the magical place up there where people store the servers, people store the storage, but I never really deep dive into knowing what it is all about, right? So I hope I'm the only one with that kind of ideology of cloud computing. So what exactly is cloud computing? So I think many of you already know because this thing has been going on for a while in the industry. Cloud computing is basically the on-demand delivery of IT resources and applications via the internet with a pay-as-you-go pricing, right? So it's basically everything that you have in your on-premises, your own data center, where you have your servers, your storage, your databases and applications. We have those all out. It's just that it's connected via the internet, right? So what then would be the primary drivers to moving to cloud? Because if you have your own data center or if you have your own servers sitting within the comfort of your office, why then should I move to cloud, right? Okay, the first one that I'll deep dive into would be increase agility. What does it mean by that? So you imagine if you have, okay, you buy a server and then you have it in the office. It has, okay, if it's just 1 or 2 servers, right, that is the maximum that you can use. But when you go to cloud, because you don't have to worry about managing those data centers, you can spin up or you can launch hundreds or thousands of servers in minutes. So meaning that would mean that you can scale or you can go you can launch your business quickly, or your team can just experiment or deploy applications more frequently. And speaking of experimentations, when you experiment on the cloud, because you don't purposefully purchase a server to run those experiments, financially, basically, you don't risk anything, right? So if it's a failed experiment, you can just shut the servers down. So that's agility. So then what is the other driver would be you can stop guessing capacity and move from capital expense to variable expense because of the pay-as-you-go pricing. So pay-as-you-go pricing would be, it means that whatever that you use, for example, if I take storage as Amazon S3, which is a storage service on AWS, so if 5 gig is all that you use for that month, 5 gig is what you're going to pay for that month. Versus if you were to buy an HDD with, say, for example, 100 gig, right? You've already paid that full amount, but you're just going to use this. You never know when you're going to fully utilize that 100 gig, right? And on the cloud as well, as many providers would have made available, would be the breadth of services. So the different services that we have, from compute to storage to databases to what is really trending right now, AI/ML, IoT, you can leverage on all these services on the cloud, right? And then the best thing of all would be going global in minutes. And what do I mean by that? I'm actually going to deep dive a little bit. I have just a standalone slide for you for going global in minutes, okay? So then you might think about, okay, so we have a few cloud providers in the industry. So why then, who is then AWS, right? I just want to take this opportunity once again, because when I do have conversations with customers, or we do have people writing into us, most and more frequently, they are always confused. They have the misconception that Amazon Web Services, in short AWS, that we are Amazon.com. You know, that retail where we purchase, which I have spent so much money during MCO. So Amazon Web Services and Amazon.com were under the same umbrella, same parent company, which is Amazon. So while they are focused on retail business, we are on the cloud business, right? I hope that clears things out, because if you were to write into me and ask, you know, when is my parcel coming, I don't think I have the answer for that, right? Okay, so what is Amazon Web Services? So Amazon Web Services would be everything that you want to do in a traditional data center. So meaning that we are the owners, we are the owner of that data center. So we are the ones with the headaches to think about managing it, keeping it secured, the lease of renting the space, all those, let AWS figure that out. So we are the ones who are going to manage the data center for you. And that leaves you to simply provision the services that we have on our platform with just a click of a button. And this would be on the cloud, right? And then also, once you have those on the cloud, meaning that you've set up your compute and compute database servers on the cloud, just run your applications at ease. So it's reliable and it's secure. So that is the basic that we offer at Amazon Web Services. Right, so this was the slide that I mentioned earlier about having customers to be able to go global in minutes. And what do I mean by that? So let me hide this thing for a bit. Okay, so if you can see here, this is basically an overview of where we are. It's where we're present, right? We have this concept at AWS where we call regions. So regions are basically the physical location where we have our cluster of data centers. So regions are the ones that you see here: Sydney, Jakarta, Tokyo, Singapore, and so on, right? And then within this region, we have the different clusters, which we call them availability zones. So going global in minutes, meaning that because AWS has about 24 regions and 76 availability zones globally, you can just deploy your applications at any one that is available, the ones that you can see down here. And it's not limited to that, because we have announced regions, which is like, for example, Jakarta, Milan, and Spain. And we are always working to, work with to come up with new regions and availability zones across the world, right? Okay, so what would be an AWS offering? What can you expect from us? So I think in my previous slide, I've shared that we are the owners of the data centers. So it's an infrastructure as service. That's what we're offering, where we have it all ready for you, the physical data center, networking firewalls, and the security, service, and storage. So that's all done for you. So that's one. And then we take a step further where we become the platform as a service as well. So with the AWS platform, with all the different services that we have, you can leverage on development tools or database management or business analytic tools that we have on our platform. And also for those who prefer like a plug and play or just like a one-click deployment, we also have, we are also offering like software as a service where we have a plethora of applications that are already built on the AWS cloud. Okay, so let's look at, I'm just going to deep dive into the basics of computing models, right? From what we all know now, on-premise, we have the data center. So you imagine having that data center in your own office, or say maybe you provision okay, in your own premise. Okay, so you host your applications there, and then come along cloud providers who brings the concept of cloud, right? So with all the major players, including AWS, we provide that space for you. Like now we've understood that it's not a magical thing in the air. It's just that we manage the data centers for you, your servers for you, and you can easily, through the internet, host your applications. Okay, so if you see the overlapping thing over there would be, you know, there are some customers or some use cases where there is a need for data localization, for example, or there are something that you prefer to keep on premise, right, that you don't want to put in cloud. So then there's where we'll come in and step in and try to make a connection, like we do like a hybrid model for you, and that's possible as well. So it's really up to customers which makes sense for your business, whether to go to a full cloud or a hybrid. Okay. So with all, I'm sure these are basics of clouds, which all cloud providers are providing. But then the question would be, why do customers choose AWS? Like why, we share it from our customers, why are they choosing us? And this slide might show like, don't get, I'm just going to deep dive on 2 points over here that I want to highlight, where let's talk about scalability. Let's talk about growing your business, right? Not just stuck in one location. Is where we provide global reach and high availability. High availability meaning that you can have your servers in one location, for example, in Singapore, but to make sure that you have HA, you can have another one on standby or deployed in another availability zone. So, for example, in Sydney. Okay, so if at any point of time, if something happened, if there's a disaster, touch wood, right? There's always something, there's always a backup for you, right? So leverage, this is something that most customers leverage with us, especially with the regions where they can reach out to different customers across the globe. The other thing that I really want to put a highlight over here would be improve TCO. Okay, what does 72 means, right? 72 are the number of price reductions that we've had since inception in 2006. And you may ask, how is this possible? So if you understand the benefits of economics of scale, right? There's hundreds and thousands of customers aggregated in the AWS cloud. So that makes it possible for us to achieve like a lower cost, which we will then pass on as discounts for or price reductions on our pay-as-you-go pricing, right? And this is something that I think I usually highlight to customers. For example, a good insight would be, so we have instances which we lovingly call families. So we have different families of EC2 servers, for example. So if last year the version is a T2 small instance, for example, it's a T2, and then if there's an upgrade to that version, and then you go on a T3. So in 2020, this year, we've come up with T3. If you take a closer look, it's always cheaper, right? The newer version is always cheaper than the older version. So this is where we'll try our very best to make sure that customers enjoy the savings that we get from our end as well. Okay, so let's put all those numbers aside. Being at AWS for 2 years now, I think I'm pretty drawn with two of their key principles in how they connect with customers, on how they run their business. So the first is being customer focused. All businesses, yes, I understand that all businesses, of course, we focus a lot on customers, but the proof in point that I want to put across here would be at Amazon, 90% of what we build is because our customers ask for them, right? So what do I mean by that? It's as simple as, hey, AWS, do you have this? And then when we get the answer, we built it. So the example would be the Amazon Redshift, right? Amazon Redshift came along. The idea of Redshift was never across our minds because we never had the concept of a data warehouse. But at that point of time, customers, the options available to customers were hard to adopt, and it was too costly. So came straight to us and said, why don't you build something like this? So we did. We launched the Redshift in February 2013. Basically, it's a fully managed data warehouse service. And like I said, because it's customer focused, we address the two key points where we make it cheaper, less expensive, 50% less expensive than other data warehouses. And we give performance as well, which is like 3 times faster than other cloud data warehouses, right? There are many examples, but this is one of the recent ones that I will share with you. So you see, it's 90%. So what happens to the 10%? Okay. So I have a son, a 5-year-old son, who is not direct, right? So he will come to me and say, for example, at the end of the day, Mommy, so I've done this. These are some of the good things I've done, and these are some of the bad things I've done. I think I'm going to do better tomorrow. So because I know what the context is about, he wants some screen time, at least an hour, and he shares with me, these are some of the things. I tend to interpret as like, I'll be like, okay, fine, you have 1 hour screen time, right? So this is the very same thing that we do at AWS as well. That remaining 10% is focused on strategic interpretations of customers' needs, right? So what does that mean? Okay, so this basically means that customers don't come straight to us and say, we want this service. Taking Lambda as an example, is that during our engagements with customers, we do realize that most of them come across situations where they only do, say for example, they do processing which only requires the server for a few seconds, right? So why then, if I'm using the service for a few seconds, do I need to manage a full instance and pay for it? So it doesn't make sense business-wise. So we kind of like interpreted that use case or those issues that they brought up with us and somehow came up with Lambda. So what Lambda does then is to let you run codes without provisioning or managing servers. So this is where we started the concept of serverless in AWS. So with the pay-as-you-go model, you just pay for the compute time that you use. You can run your codes all with zero administration, right? So this is an example of another customer focus that we have at AWS that I strongly believe is the key thing that I really hold out while working at AWS. So that's the first one, customer focus. The other principle that we have at AWS would be what we call working backwards, right? So actually for this working backwards, I was listening to the panel discussions earlier, and I think Mr. Muhu was actually set the segue for this topic. So meaning that everything, especially digital transformation journey, it is a journey, right? We stress on the part where it is a journey. It's not because of like what the moderator mentioned. It's not because, oh, my competitor has just upgraded the Excel, so I should do that as well. It's not about that, right? We always come up with, if you see some of the questions that we keep close to, like, who is our customer? Where, I mean, which industry are they in, right? What is the opportunity for them, or what is the problem that they have, that they face, that they want to resolve? And then from this whole process, what is it, what kind of experience that we want to deliver to them, right? So taking an example of working backwards, I'm going to share with you a client, our very own Amazon Go. So for those of you who are not familiar with Amazon Go, they're they're our typical convenience, right? Working with them when it first came 6 years ago, they had a clear vision where they say, all right, we want to have a just walkout shopping. So what is just walkout shopping? So this is the vision that we had from them, which we then had to work backwards to figure out what are the components that we need to put together so that they can have this at the end of the day. Right. So right,
Karina,
this is just
to
one
stop
of the
you for a
short
little
front.
bit.
Yes.
We're actually getting a little bit of feedback that your line is a little bit choppy. So do you think it'd be okay if you turned off your video? I think that will take up less bandwidth. You can still continue your presentation, no problem.
Sure, I can do that. Hang on.
Yeah. Okay, there you go. I think it should be better now. So for you guys who are listening, I'm so sorry about that. We've been monitoring it for a while. But I think this is the best solution. So Farina, so sorry about that. Please continue.
Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. I wasn't looking at the group chat. I'm sorry, guys.
It's
I was
okay.
babbling away.
We got you covered. Don't worry.
Okay. Let me go back to that presentation mode. Okay, so this is the shop front of one of our Amazon Go stores. Right, like you can see, the vision is there. It's like a just walkout shopping. So the business issue that they have was, can you imagine staying in line, especially, when I first came back from, when all this MCO was over, and then you started to like, okay, I need to go to the supermarket now. I need to stock up. I'm like drying out. And the queue was crazy. The queue is super long, right? And that is something that it's always a pain for retail stores, the lines. And we, as human beings, or myself maybe, I hate lines. So Amazon Go went a step ahead, thinking about, is it possible, right, to give customers the experience of, let's just go in, we'll pick up whatever that we want, and then we walk out. Simple as that. Theory sounds simple, but the back end of it, how did we do it? So like I said, it took about 6 years to work on this. This is the inside of how the shop front looks like. It's clean, pretty much straightforward, but I want to give you, just want to highlight to you the top part, right? So these are where across the 6 years, our dedicated engineers have tried to conceptualize or create and design proprietary cameras, computer vision algorithms, just to make sure that everything can run smoothly in the store. So if you step into an Amazon Go store, we have all this at the top blending in so that you don't notice, and then so that you can just shop at ease. And what comes out of it, right? Because my closest relationship to technology was the iPhone for many, many years until I joined AWS. So I'm a bit skeptical, right? It's like, how can you be so sure that there's no flaw in this? And I actually have put trust in that 6 years of effort that they've put in. It's the same thing as the concept of, how SMBs that I work closely with, they fear the move, or they're very reluctant to move to cloud because they do not know, they've not experienced it yet. So I went to one of the Amazon Go stores in San Francisco 2 years ago, and equipped with my Amazon Go app, I went through the gantry. So it was as simple as just scan it there, scan through the gantry. If you see this area here, yeah, you just need to scan your app there. Somebody will be there. It's just one person. The only employees that you will see in the store would be that person who's guiding you, just in case you don't know how to go through the gantry, and the one who will stock up your stuff, all the groceries for you. So I went in and I tried to be a very difficult customer, indecisive customer. I went round. So, okay, they prepare a paper bag for you, meaning that you can just take and leave, right? You don't have to put in a basket and transfer it out. Or if you have your own, bring your own bag, you can just put all the groceries in there. So with my bag, I walked in and I tried to be picky or indecisive. Like I said, I took an M&M's, which was the plain. I put it in, and then I did one whole round. I said, no, I don't want this anymore. I'm gonna put it out. I'm gonna take the M&M's with peanuts, and I keep doing that, thinking that I could confuse this whole system that is all above me. But I walked out, right? So once I've done that, I just walked out, and immediately the app just like, ding, this is your purchase and your receipt, and we've deducted this from your credit card. And it was amazing. So I double checked all the items that I've bought against the receipt, and yep, everything was perfect to the T, was all there. They charged me for every little thing and did not charge for every other things that I've put back on the shelf. So this is this is just an example of how we work backwards, right? We don't look at our services and say, okay, this is how, Mr. Customer, this is how my EC2 can help solve your issue. We try to do it the other way around and then see how we can help customers solve their business. So other than just workout vision that we had, that Amazon Go had, of course, we also look at other of the retail challenges of having a retail store or doing retail itself. Like, how do I want my customers to enjoy this experience, right, of purchasing my products, or just the journey of buying my products, right? I want it to be seamless. So, and also like personalized experience, like, is there a way that, you know, I will showcase SK2 only to all the ladies, or whatever brands that men love for the men, right? So these are some of the kind of things that we try to help customers to overcome. Maybe it's not even an issue, maybe it's just some idea to help them grow as a business. Wow, this, when I first saw this slide, yes, it came in as it's pretty overwhelming, and I'm not expecting you to look through every single thing. Okay, so I need a favor. So when you look at this colorful slide, imagine that you are going to a Lego store. Okay, so for example, I have an idea of, okay, I'm gonna create a Mustang with pink trimmings. For example, it's just for example. So I will step into the Lego store and I will go crazy with all the colorful bricks over there. I'll pick up what I need to use, but I know my end game is a Mustang with pink lining, right? So think of it that way, and always put in mind that we're always working backwards. So this could come as nothing to you. Always come up with the, always have that mindset that, okay, what is my problem? What is my problem, right? Then when you come to AWS, and then we will look through what is in our platform to help you overcome those issues. Right. And this is about security. Everybody, and I have countless, like I said, being skeptical as well, not knowing whether this would work. Businesses being businesses, we have a lot of data, we have a lot of proprietary application solutions in the company, right? That we want to make sure that we'll protect it, right? If you see news on, you know, when everybody starts to go digital, all this, everybody gets smarter. So we have hackers going in and out and misusing whatever things that there is in the cloud. So of course it's common, or it's normal for businesses to fear. But one thing that I just want to assure you that is that AWS cloud, okay, it's the most flexible infrastructure, right? And we have all the industry, we have a lot of industry certifications for our infrastructure as well as our services. Okay, so for example, for our infrastructure, for our data centers, we put in security. What we call security is job zero at AWS. It's always at top of mind. So it's so secure that we do have customers coming in. Frena, if I want to have take a look right before I go with you, can I take a look at your data centers? And I have to apologize because that is definitely not possible. Nobody can visit our data centers, not even myself. Like we do not even know where the data centers are, right? So that is how secure we are, and we try to respect that for our customers as well. All these certifications listed here are those that are on our services, which I've provided a link over here where you can view the AWS services in scope in according to the compliance program. So you see we have FedRAMP, you can even run PCI and HIPAA workloads on AWS. Okay, I do have customers as well who are being regulated by Securities Commission or Bank Negara Malaysia, right? And there are different rules that you have to do your due compliance, and sometimes because there's so many regulations to it, it's normal not to know every single thing. So what we did at AWS is that we have set up a portal which we call the AWS Compliance Center for customers to actually take a look. Just visit the website and take a look of what is the regulations by BNM and SC, because at AWS we work very, very closely with them to always try to find to see how we can make it easy for customers to go through on the cloud. Okay. Okay, so the other thing about security is also that I want to put a stress that we have a concept of AWS shared responsibility model. So no, what does that mean? So it's basically meaning that for AWS, we are responsible for security of the cloud. Of the cloud, meaning our data centers, our regions, the infrastructure, as well as the softwares under the AWS platform, right? So for example, our EC2, our S3, so those are that we are responsible for. And then because it's a shared responsibility in the cloud, meaning everything else that is above the software, will be on the customers, because we want to give you the flexibility of putting in extra security for those applications or those data which are really critical, and then maybe you want to put less security for those which are not, right? So it's a shared responsibility over here that we practice at AWS. And okay, so let's cycle back to during the panel discussion earlier where they mentioned that you don't have to be afraid or worry about how you're going to get on the digital transformation journey, right? Like at AWS, we have an expansive ecosystem. So the first one would be we have a partner network who have worked on successful and proven workloads and use cases on AWS. They've helped customers with the different journeys and create new solutions for whatever issues that they may be facing. Okay, so leverage, these are the partners that, because they have gone through so much and they have worked with many different use cases, that we should leverage on their expertise. The other thing that we have for you, for example, if you are the kind who prefers, okay, do you have something that I can just click and I can just run? We do have that, because we have partners who have created solution in a box for you. So meaning it's ready-made applications which are all hosted on the AWS marketplace. So we have about 2,000 products available over there. It's as simple as you just need to choose what kind of servers, what kind of EC2 instance you require, and it will deploy for you, right? So you don't have to think about that. So if you have a use case, for example, hosting cPanels or e-commerce, things like that, we have about 2,000 over products that you can select from our marketplace. And then, so with the help of our partners, our amazing partners in the network, in the ecosystem, so far to date, we have over 1 million active customers across 190 countries. And these are customers from various segments like enterprises, startups, public sectors. And for my patch, especially what we're working on, who we're working on closely with is actually with SMBs. We have an extra interest in helping SMBs to move to the cloud, to get on the digital transformation journey, which is not like a next day thing. Like I said, it's a journey. You have to understand what is your issues and what are the next steps to take, right? Especially all of us have just come out from MCO, and we totally understand that SMBs and SMEs especially are taking a big hit on this one. So talking about customer case studies, I just want to quickly share with you, this is a familiar logo, which is Grab. It started off as ride hailing, and when they came to us, the issues was, I want to be innovative and I want to make sure that I reduce time managing IT, right? So we using that and using the working backwards, you see now with Grab, they've managed to roll out different new services like Grab Pay, Grab Food, Grab, all those other Grabs that you have, within a short time frame. Okay, and then with that, they could scale, making use of our regions. They could scale availability and reliability at a fast pace. Another familiar logo that I want to share with you with is 7-Eleven Malaysia. So they actually embark on a digital transformation journey with us. They knew, I mean, to reach there, they knew they had to start somewhere. So what happens is that they want to make sure that they are highly available and scalable, so that in the future they can innovate rapidly. So that in the future they can use the potential of their data to come up with better customer experiences using analytics, IoT, AI/ML, and all those services that are available right now. So what happened is that when they moved on, they managed to retire their technical debt, and they are more cost optimized right now. They've increased their speed to market and agility, and now they've got that foundation, that data warehouse foundation, right? So that at any point of time they want to do business intelligence, they can just do it in minutes. So I think that's my last slide. Yes, that's my last slide, guys, and I hope I'm on time. So basically, that's the journey. Like, I want to emphasize again, we are very customer focused, and like all the panelists has mentioned before, it's about the journey. We have to take a step at a time. Let's take a look at what your issues are, and we'll work backwards from there. Here's my contact details, and I know you're gonna have the slides. I'll be sharing the slides with you. Edmund is my partner, so we're working together for the SMB space. So the truly final slide would be the most interesting one. With Edmund and I, we've discussed, and we thought that, for exabytes attendees only, this is what we're gonna do. We're offering you, like, especially for new customers, $2,000 USD, which equates to 8,500 ringgit worth of credits, right? So that credits will be pumped into your AWS account. So all you need to do is simply, if you could just take a look at the link over here, that's all we need you to do. If you could fill up your feedback and share with us what is it that you want, what are your issues, either Edmund and I will reach out to you in the next day or two, and with the credits. So I think that's the end of our presentation. Thank you.
All right, fantastic, Farina. I think you can turn your camera back on because we have some Q&A for you. But yes, to everyone else who's watching, let's give a virtual round of applause. Thank you so much for your sharing session. And if you could, I think let's just drop that link for the credits for the feedback form actually in the chat box for everyone. So I think you can access it better that way.
Okay, I'll do that. Hang on.
Okay. So yes, guys, don't forget to share your feedback.
Okay.
Yeah, in the group chat. There you go. I see it. Okay. Fantabulous. Okay, so Farina, do you want to come back on screen right now?
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. All right, our first question is from Carlock. Now, Carlock would like to know, a few years ago, I did provide AWS S3 storage to customers, but I ended up stopping the usage due to the currency as it was charged in USD. Is there a Ringgit Malaysia price nowadays?
Carlos, I'm afraid we're all on USD, but do reach out to us because there's something that we can discuss, right? So maybe we can take this separately. If you could just reach out to me on my email, that'd be perfect.
All right, Carla, you know what to do. So our next question is, do you all co-share Exabyte's data as part of AWS offering? In long run, will Exabyte survive with their own offering?
Right. So Exabytes and AWS are partners. We do work closely. So there's always something that that would benefit Exabytes and that will benefit AWS as well. So it's an ongoing relationship, right?
Okay, I hope that answers your question. If you'd like to know a little bit more, you can perhaps elaborate on that, and that way we can answer your questions better. Okay, let's move on to the next one. This one is from Len Lee. Now, what are the differences between Amazon Redshift and Shopify?
Amazon Redshift and Shopify. So Redshift is a service, right? So Redshift it's a native service that you have. Whereas Shopify, I think if I'm not wrong, it's something that you can customize and plug and play. Okay, so that's the difference. Like I said, at AWS, the services are other than those that are on the marketplace. The services are something that is like a Lego building blocks. It really helps you to piece together, developers or partners to piece together to come to your solution. So with Redshift and other services, probably we can build something like a Shopify.
Okay, I hope that answers your question. Thank you so much, Lindy. Now, actually, they have another question. Any dropshipping features for Amazon Redshift?
Dropshipping features of Amazon. Dropshipping features. Landy, can you just elaborate a little bit more on that one?
Yeah, I think let's give Lenny maybe a couple of minutes to do that. We can move on to the next one. Now, this one is from Philip. Will Amazon Go arrive on Malaysian shores?
I like how, yes, I love the question, Philip, because I'm asking myself as well. Like, okay, but now, so for now, just to answer your question, we have about 10 stores, and unfortunately, it's just across Chicago, San Francisco, and Seattle. But you know, like I said, AWS is customer focused, right? So maybe if there's a huge shout out for one, you'll never know. I'm not gonna say a no or a yes for that.
Okay. Now this one is from Darren. Now Darren would like to know, decentralized is getting popular. Is AWS going towards decentralized?
This is really interesting. What I will do is, Darren, can we reach out? Because I really want to find out a little bit more on what you mean by decentralized, right? And I want to have a conversation with you, Darren, on that one. So could you just drop me an email?
All right, Darren, you know what to do. I think you had your email out just now on screen, but it's okay. You can always leave that in the chat box later on. Yeah. So guys, if you have any more questions, keep them coming. We have no more for now. But if you're going to type questions, make sure you leave them in the Q&A box and perhaps be a little bit more specific. And that way, you know, Farina can really get into it and answer all the queries you might have. So yes, she has left her contact details in the chat box right now. Let's just give them a couple more minutes to maybe type their questions because we have no more for now. So Farina, what did you have for lunch?
I haven't actually, because I want to make sure that I'm all prepared. I was so nervous, so I just want to make sure that I'm prepared for this.
I see. But I think like after this, you'll be able to eat. I hope you guys
didn't fall asleep. I hope you guys didn't fall asleep.
Oh, no. Well, apparently, this group of attendees, they're actually very active. From the very beginning in the morning at 9 o'clock, they have been typing nonstop. So I'm very pleased that you guys have been awesome so far. Okay, so Lenny actually commented here in the comments, a little bit of a clarification. Dropshipping means that customers are paid to sell. Customers pay the sellers first, and customers will get the goods directly from Shopify. Does that clarify things for you?
Dropshipping.
Yeah.
Okay, Lenny, I'm so sorry, but this is something that I'll need to find out. Do you have an email address that, you know, at least I can go straight to you once I get a response, once I have a response for you for that one?
I think that that's quite fair. So Lendy, just maybe leave your email in the chat box, and then that way, like Farina can get in touch with you. And I think we have no more questions for now. So Farina, I'm going to let you off. Go and have your lunch, please, because it's almost 2 o'clock.
Thank you. Sorry, I just saw a last one. Michael here, is there any packages and startups? Can I just answer that one?
Yeah,
Yes.
go right ahead.
Yes, we have. Michael, just drop me an email. We do have something for startups. I can link you up with my startup team. Okay? Cool.
All right, brilliant. Farina, thank you so much. Just want to let you know, there's no need to be nervous at all. You know, everyone's friends, you're all adults. It's just like a sharing session, like consider it a hangout session between two girls and everyone else, 103 attendees. So we hope you had a pleasant time here at the SMA Digital Fest 3.0. You have been such a joy to talk to, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day and your lunch.
Thank you. Thanks, Lauren. Thanks, everyone. Bye.
All right, we'll see you soon. Bye.
Exabytes. Grow your business online.